What is going on, boys? What's up, chat? What's up, chat? What's up, y'all? How we doing? How we feeling? It's NFL Football Sunday, and you're here with Bookit, y'all. You have come to the right place. Someone's got some wild background feedback going on right now. If we could touch on that, but other than that, chat, how we doing? How we doing? Man, I'm so fired up. This is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Thank you all for tuning in. Boys, how the hell are we doing? Happy Sunday.
How we doing, man?
Good, man. I'm pumped up. I couldn't sleep last night. I was so pumped for the week too.
I legitimately have woken up a few times throughout the night thinking that my bets were already live and they were slapping. So I hope that that is a sign of more to come. Um,
Much? Do you know what that noise is?
yeah, there.
Parlay Safari said kids outside with the lawnmower.
My kitchen's on mute though.
I know.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
Mike
mute,
with the
I'm gonna mute myself.
lawn. Uh,
Oh, it's nap.
It's nap.
I'll leave and come back.
You got like a fan going or something?
Might be my computer.
Interesting. The computer. Anyways, we'll make it work. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I'm gonna come back.
Man, we got a crazy slate today. I'm sure y'all were very aware of what we have going on. We got sus lines all across the board, but that's why we're here. That's why we're here, because we got to move the needle together and we got to make sure that our units are staying where they need to be, and that's safe and secure in the comfort of our home and not in those godforsaken books. Boys, I cannot wait to jump into this, um, especially after yesterday, and we're just losing heads one by one. We're losing heads one by one.
Sorry, we'll hold on the fort till they get back.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. We can touch on briefly yesterday. I really don't want to. College football. College football was gross. College football was gross. We had a doink off the top of the upright.
Bro,
We
tell
had
me
a doink off the top of the upright. When the hell does that happen? I couldn't tell you.
I had plus 1.5, not plus 2. I didn't push.
Yeah,
I lost.
yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, chat, you are noticing a haircut. I had money on Texas yesterday, and I heard Quinn Ewers was going to play, so I said, you know what? Let's go with the mullet. It's giving big hedgehog vibes though. So we're gonna keep the hat on. We're gonna keep moving. But I think it's time that we start attacking this slate, boys. If this is your first time watching, we're gonna give y'all a little bit of a background on each team through the matchup, our favorite play of that day between the two guys that are gonna be talking about that matchup. And then at the end, we're gonna craft up a lay for the squad to ride, and that shit is certainly going to hit. We have not hit one yet, but we've gotten damn close. And I think today is certainly the day. There's so much value out there. The public is heavy on 9 different games. We're seeing more than 65, 70% of the public betting in one direction. So far this year, when that happens, the dog is 9-2. So make sure that you guys are ready. And it's time to lock in. We are going to kick things off with this first game that on paper, not too exciting, but I think it's going to be a battle. That's Houston and Chicago. Listen, Houston, maybe they're 0-1-1, but they are 2-0 against the spread, and that's what we care about most. They do have a very porous rush defense, though. They allowed 177 to Indianapolis, 149 to Denver. Davis Mills a little bit banged up with his thumb. So it should shape up to be a game with a lot of rushing attack going on because neither team can really stop the rush as well. We're seeing Lovie Smith back in Chicago. He took that team to the Super Bowl back in 2007. Initially, I said, hey, Chicago, Houston, give me the under, but I'm liking the over. V, why don't you give us a little bit of background here on Chicago?
So Chicago last week, what we saw against Green Bay, we saw them throw 11 times in a really pretty bad loss. But we all saw it was not a good game. Justin Fields not making the right reads. But honestly, I love a bounce back spot for the Bears today. I think this Texans defense is due for a loss. Like they've been overhyped all like through the first 2 weeks. I know the public's gonna love them. I know that everyone's down on the Bears and everyone's been down on the Bears all year. But Montgomery had a great game last game. They only passed the ball 11 times because the run game was working. Montgomery averaged 8.1 yards per carry. So why would you pass the ball? Justin Fields isn't making the right reads, but he's doing enough, I think, to move the offense down the field. And against this Texans defense that is giving up, 270 pass yards per game and almost 140 rush yards per game. So give me everything about the Bears. And I love that the money line is sitting underneath minus 160. Forget about the points. Take the Bears on the money line minus 150. That's what I like.
Yeah, I know that's a popular pick among the boys here.
Yeah, I love the Bears today. Everything
Yeah.
you said is on point.
A lot of folks are certainly loving the Bears. And something that I thought was interesting, and I was talking about with D last night, is that although Fields only has 28 pass attempts on the year, Prize Picks has his line for pass attempt at 24.5. So I think that they think that they're going to kind of switch up the game plan a bit as well. Personally, I know y'all are on Chicago. I don't think Chicago's a 2-1 team, so I'm rocking with the Texans today. I think they do enough to get it done. And kind of the lines are all over the board there. But, you know, I was expecting the public to be a little bit more on Houston. The spread is completely split, but we're seeing 83% of the handle on Chicago money line. So we'll see what happens there. I think it is good value. It is a home game. Texas, Houston, what are they going to do? But, boys, we're going to move right on along here. And I think the next game we're talking about is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders 0-2 heading into Tennessee. Also 0-2. Nap, why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown on this Raiders team, man?
Yeah, I'll be quick because I know my mic's making that noise. I can't fix it. But
I still want to hear what you got to say. Fuck the mic.
I think the Raiders today, this is one of those teams today. I think there's a handful of them that they have to win. And they know that they have to play much better than they played through the first 2 weeks of the season. Devontae Adams wasn't really on pace with Derek Carr last week. They couldn't really make a lot of connections together. So I think today they're going to try and expose the Tennessee secondary. And I think the Raiders come out of Tennessee with a win. It's going to be a tough game for them. The spread is short for a reason. I don't think that there's any real trap here. I think it should be about where it is. But I do think with the circumstances the Raiders are facing right now with their season, they need this game. And I look at the team who needs the game more than the team who doesn't. Tennessee is deploted after that game against Buffalo. They look terrible. And honestly, for them to come out today, they're going to need a lot better of a performance than what we've seen through the first 2 weeks from them. I don't think they get it done. I like where the Raiders are at on that money line. I think it's a good parlay piece. So I think the spread is honestly, it might be a 1-point game. So, like, I really wouldn't mess with the spread. It just feels weird taking a minus 1.5 spread when you can just take the money line and be safer. So I'm just going to take the money line for the parlay. But,
yeah. Kitch, what are you seeing with Tennessee, brother?
Tannehill, man, he has to figure it out. He's averaging 58% for his pass rate. Right now, both of these offenses have to figure it out a little bit. So I like the under in this game, actually. I feel like with both offenses still trying to gear up for the mid part of the season, the under is 6-1 for the Raiders' last 7 games, and the under is 6-2 for the Titans' last 8 games. So it's a good trend to follow for that one. I feel like if anything, you see a good buzz up front for both teams. Yes, the Raiders probably should edge this one out. It should be a close game considering defenses, but all in all, I feel like they're still having to gear up on offense, even with what the Raiders have roster-wise. So I love the under for this spot here.
Could be a decent look. Could definitely be a decent look. Keeping it moving. So Nap, you're saying Raiders, money line, Kitch, you like the under. Okay.
Mush, before we move on from this game, I just wanted to touch on a prop that I really like. I feel like Devontae Adams is in a great bounce back spot. You know, we saw him last week. He was double covered on every single snap. They could not get him the ball. He still saw 7 targets for 2 catches which is terrible. But now his lines are sitting around 83.5 receiving yards for a dude that's usually sitting around 95, 96. He's seeing almost a 33% target share. He's on the field for, I think, 97% of the offensive plays. Give me all of that. No Hunter Renfrow today. I love that bounce back spot for him today.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great look. What are his numbers at again, V?
83.5 receiving yards is what I got it at. It's one of my favorite props. I think he scores today too. It's all, yeah. Last week is minus 200. This week is sitting at like minus 110. We saw what Diggs did to this defense last week. They're on a short week. Got Devontae Adams up next, and he saw 17 targets week 1. 17. So yeah, I'll take that.
We love it. We love it. We love it. Man, talk about a trap line. And I think that it's wild how last week, I know that we've been talking about it a little bit on our end, but we saw 3, maybe 4 10-point spreads last week. We haven't seen any of those this week. This smells like such a trap if you're betting on Kansas City, but we got Kansas City rolling into Indianapolis, only a 5-point spread, over under at 51. Now, I couldn't help myself, but we got V. Why don't you tell us what's going on with Kansas City, my guy?
So what we've seen over the years, like last couple of years with Kansas City, is their run defense is porous. They give up rush yards, they give it up the middle, and they can't do anything to stop it. And we see teams like this that happens because they know that they're going to be offensively fine. They know they'll be ahead for most of the game. So what they do is they try to bolster their pass rush rather than, shore up against the run, because they know teams are not going to run that often on us. But what ends up happening is in close games and teams with good running backs, sometimes they suffer because of it. Last time the Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs played each other, Frank Reich was still the head coach, and he ran Marlon Mack 29 times. 29 times for 160 yards. We know Marlon Mack is no Jonathan Taylor. I think that this is going to be one of those grinded out divisional games where both teams, not divisional game, but both teams come out and, run the ball. We see Mahomes puts up points on the offense, but I wouldn't touch the Kansas City spread. I think it's a huge trap, 5.5 points. It's a lot. It's come down from, I think it was plus or minus 6.5. I know all the sharps are on the Colts, so I'm staying far away as I can from the Kansas City spread.
Kish, what are you seeing from those guys in Indianapolis, man? Muted.
Got a little ugly in that Jacksonville game, man. They gotta get together on those third down conversions. I feel like Matt Ryan is still trying to piece together what he has on his offense. It's a tough spot. I see a couple people taking the Colts for this one outright. But then again, it's still early in the season, and a lot of these offensive coordinators are still they're gearing up just like the quarterbacks. It's a tough one for me to take the Colts. So if I would take a lean, it would definitely be for the Chiefs on the spread, just because of what we've already seen with their offensive production. I feel like Mahomes is still synced in with his team. I still like they still have enough pieces where if the game does slow down, considering the Colts run game, they can speed it back up. They have that much tempo. They have that many weapons. So my lean here would be the Chiefs on the spread.
I agree with Kid. I think if you were going to take the Colts, the time to do it was earlier this week when they were plus 6.5. Don't take them at plus 5.5. All the value's gone. And I could easily see the Chiefs rolling in and just rolling over. But
yeah, I just think, Matt Ryan has just looked so horrible this year. I have no faith in him, even with the spread being less than a touchdown, for the Colts to get this done. I just don't. The only way they win is if Jonathan Taylor scores multiple touchdowns and if they can somehow find a way to keep it close, which I just don't think they can. Kansas City looks like the old version of themselves from last year, and I just don't think it's going to be any different today.
We're going to see what happens, man. I'm prepared for so much blood to be shed across the country today. It's going to be a gnarly slate. A gnarly slate. I have literally been dreaming about today regularly throughout the week, thinking that it was Sunday, thinking that the games were live, thinking that bets were hitting. Hopefully that all remains true. Talk about a game where it's going to be nothing but pure excitement. We got the Buffalo Bills, who look like an absolute powerhouse, heading to South Beach and facing the Dolphins. Nappy, Tell us about this Buffalo team, man.
I mean, we all kind of know what this Buffalo team consists of. Like, everybody's seen it. They're the most dominant offensive team in football. It's not really a question. I think they've proven that on every level pretty much. But I think Miami also has some explosiveness. So I think that that's something that can't be overlooked, because when you have explosiveness in football, you're never out of a game unless you let it get out of hand. So unless they're down by 2 or more touchdowns, I think Miami's still going to be able to find a way to hang around. But I think with the spread being short enough, the Buffalo spread is really the move in this game. The Bills, again, they haven't shown any signs of weakness. That spread was short against Tennessee on Monday Night Football. People thought that was going to be a close game. This team's proving that they're ready for the Super Bowl, in my opinion. And if they're going to do that, they got to roll through their division. So I think they cover a divisional spread today in Miami.
Sheesh. Well, that
I think the
game
squares
is
grub
so...
today. I think the squares grub a little bit today.
Yeah, dude. I'm again on the opposite side of you on this one, dude. I am a huge believer in the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel. I will continue to sing this guy's praise until the wheels fall off. We saw what they did against a banged up Ravens defense last week with that remarkable comeback to cover for the kid, because obviously I was on the money line. That was my favorite play last week. Well, the injuries are continuing on the defensive side for who they're seeing. We're seeing both safeties out. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde out. They're seeing, I think Ed Oliver isn't going to play, a few others on their defensive line. So they're super banged up. The Dolphins are also banged up, but McDaniel is just so creative with the offensive personnel that he puts out there that it is very difficult for the defense to make those adjustments on the fly like that. 83% of the handle is on Buffalo. And guess what? The line's moved from 6.5 down to 4.5. I booked the Miami money line at plus 195, I think on Monday or Tuesday. I booked them at plus 5.5, maybe 6.5 as well. I think 5.5. Miami, once again, is my favorite play of the day to cover, but I think that this is going to be an over. Absolutely.
I love the over in this game. I agree with you on that. And I was going to say, if there's a total to take, it's for sure the over. But I just think you can't fade a team like Buffalo until they prove they're fadeable. They're not fadeable right now. Not yet. They might be after this week, but
it's admittedly an ego play. I'll say it all the time. Sometimes you don't have to make the play to be the guy that made the play. I can't help myself. It's an ego play. I'm still confident in the Dolphins, but the play in this game, I do believe, is the over without a doubt. My 2 props that I'm hammering are Tua to have 2 passing touchdowns, and I think Tyree Cooks again. I think he has over 77 rushing yards. If there weren't so many injuries, I wouldn't be as adamant about those. But Tua over 1.5 putters, Tyreek over yards. Give me the over, but definitely give me Miami to cover. Next game, we got Detroit City. Can they stay hot? They're going up to Minnesota. Now, Nappy, what's going on with you boys in Detroit?
Well, I mean, we've somehow constructed the best offense numbers-wise in football through the first 2 weeks, which makes no sense. We still let up a lot on. We play run and gun, which I don't think is going to work the whole season. This is still not a great football team. I think they're showing signs of being better than last year, but I think this is one of those games today where it just doesn't make sense saying it again that the squares are still grubbing, but the squares are still grubbing. I think the Vikings at home, they just got waxed on national television. You lose that bad where everybody knows you just got trolled for a week straight. You're coming off a short week and you're back at home. They dominated Green Bay at home. And home field advantage is something I'm looking at a lot in this game. The Lions haven't played a road game yet. You're taking a lot of rookies on the road in a tight divisional matchup with a team that's coming off of national television thumping. They got to get right today. I just think that the Vikings are the move. Like, I just don't see how you I know that the Lions love covering spreads backdoor. I know that that's what they're known for, but this is a game where the Vikings have to make a statement. If Kirk Cousins doesn't come out and throw multiple touchdowns without picks, Dalvin Cook needs to get going. He barely touched the ball on Monday night. That has to change. And the Vikings know that if they ground and pound on the Lions, it's going to be the way for them to win this game. So I think that Dalvin Cook has a really good game today. And I think that the Vikings get the job done at home. And I'm saying that as a Detroit fan. Like, I'm not betting with my heart in this game. I think the Vikings seriously have to come out and win a game like this. They know they can control that NFC North if they can get a win like this. So, yeah.
V, what are you seeing from Minnesota, brother?
So as much hype as there is with Kirk Cousins on primetime and fading Kirk Cousins on primetime, the game after that, he always performs. We know Kirk Cousins, the game he loves is that 1 p.m. slot at home in Minnesota in the Dome. Like, that's just where he loves to play, and that's where the defense loves to play. The defense has been elite at home. It's like literally a day and night difference when they go on the road versus when they're playing in front of their home crowd. Coming off, like Nappy said, a Monday night thumping, everybody's going to be on Detroit. They covered week 1. They won outright week 2. Everybody loves this offense. And I know their offensive line is great, but they're potentially missing their starting center, Frank Ragro. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Also, potentially missing Jonah Jackson. And the thing that worries me more is last year we saw Goff struggle on the road. On the road, his accuracy was sitting at 62% compared to 70% at home. He threw 6 touchdowns on the road compared to 13 at home. So we know he struggles on the road against the Minnesota defense that is going to be tough at home. I know they're missing Harrison Smith today, but honestly, give me Minnesota and the points. I think they bounce back today, but honestly, my favorite play in this game is the under. Divisional unders to the first 2 weeks, 10 out of 11 games have gone under, and they're going under by an average of 8.3 points. So give me that under. I think
That's surgical.
All the way to 52. Everybody's been talking about Detroit's an over team. And I get it. Their offense has been great. They've been playing super well. But these are 2 teams with elite running backs that should be running the ball and porous run defenses. The Lions have given up 152 rush yards and 5 rushing touchdowns through 2 weeks. So you're telling me Dalvin Cook's not going to have a day? The clock's not going to be running? 52 is too high of a number for the amount I think these teams will be running today. So give me that under 52. I think it's the perfect number.
I also think the Vikings are even safer just off the fact, like, Dan Campbell has shown so many times in road games, especially divisional games, as a coach, he just has mental lapses where he makes a crucial mistake. And even if this is a close game down the stretch, there's going to come a moment in the 3rd or 4th quarter where he makes a terrible decision and we get penalized for it, or it just completely washes out our lead that we had, and the Lions are going to give this game away. I'm telling you, I think the Vikings get it done today. I agree with everything he said. And that under could be a really good look also. The Lions have Swift coming back, but his ankle's messed up. I don't think they're going to be trying to rely on him as much today. And I think that they're going to be going with Williams a lot more, and it's going to keep the offense moving really slowly. So I could see that under being a really good look also.
I think those are 2 real sharp plays because the public is so heavy on both sides. We have had super late movement, though. It was we're seeing more late money dump in on Minnesota, which we love to see because the public was all over Detroit for all the reasons that we just went over. I mean, they are hot as hell, but it's a great zigzag opportunity for Minnesota, who got shown out last week, to come back and rebound. And that is a system that is hitting at nearly 70%. So we will take that. Moving right along, gents, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who just had their hearts broken, going to New England. Talk about another zigzag opportunity. And zigzag opportunity means when one team didn't cover, they're facing a team that did cover in the previous week. You typically want to bet on the team that did not cover. They're still banged up, but to lose like that at home, I don't see Lamar Jackson allowing that to happen at all, taking 2 L's in a row. The Patriots defense is just way too stagnant with Matt Patricia, but this is a game that I don't think the books can really get out of the way from. It is one of the most heaviest bet games for Baltimore. But, I'm going to be grubbing with the squares today because I think that the Ravens do what needs to be done to collect the W. Could be a snooze fest. I'm not going to heavily bet on it, but I do have faith that the Ravens can get the job done. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if this somehow went to the under. But let's see. My guy, where are we? Kitch, why don't you give us a little breakdown on New England, my guy?
Yeah, they have to be able to convert, man. If you're going, I get it. The Ravens are a little bit more offensive sided this year with the players they have, but their defense is still pretty stout early off. Um, their Patriots are still bottom 10. They're bottom 10 in third down conversions. Um, they still push turnovers, yeah, I get it's early in the season, like we all talk about all the time. A lot of teams are still figuring out their identity on both sides of the ball, but the Patriots defense, that kind of defense going up against pretty much top five most electric in my opinion, with third down conversions, uh, yards after catch, yards after touch. It's all there for the Ravens right now. I think this is a great bounce back spot. Yes, there's a lot of wagers going in on the Ravens side, respectfully, but squares have to win too. So I think this is a good spot for a favorite to win. It's a bounce back spot for the Ravens after that tough loss against a good Miami team, I might add. But I think this is a good composure game for them. Um, I like them on the spread. I have them on the money line. So yeah, Ravens all day for this one.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Someone also just said it in the comments. Belichick has always he struggled against scrambling quarterbacks a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Michael Vick was somebody else too. He didn't play him a lot, but it was tough. Like it was always those tough mobile quarterbacks make it tough on any coach, but Belichick specifically, yeah.
And I will say Lamar Jackson. Sorry, go ahead, Mush.
No, dude, just go ahead.
I was gonna say Lamar Jackson in his career, following a home loss, like a loss at home, is 5-0. So like 5-0 straight up, and you're getting the Ravens money line at -150, it was -145 last night. If you were smart about it, you know what I mean. So I agree with you guys.
Lamar's about to have a game, and I don't know what kind of magic you're performing over there, V, but you've literally just in one clip disappeared and then reappeared like twice, and it's actually starting to bug me the fuck out. So if you could stop with your little black magic over there in Wisconsin,
I don't even understand how that's happening.
Oh man!
You literally will be sitting there, all of a sudden, bang, you're gone, and then like you'll just reappear. It's absurd.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch this.
We may have lost Nash, but I don't.
Yo, someone in chat, Uncle Phil bomb.
Who?
Somebody just said it in chat. I'm about to check Twitter. You know I fucks with
Uncle Phil. He just dropped something. Man, when Uncle Phil drops, man, it's like an album, bro.
Vikings -6.5.
It's like an album.
It's like an album, brother.
Uncle Phil special.
I'm with you. Tell me that it's Baltimore, because I think we're all.
What's the notebook new?
There.
You need the Bengals -6, Vikings -6.
I love those Bengals. Yep. Gotta love those Bengals, baby.
You know, Trent somewhere right now is bricked up.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, dude, this is the next game that we're going to be talking about right here. It is Cincinnati and the Jets. We got Kitch.
Yeah, man.
Back, man. Is the fluke shit over with in Cincinnati, bro? What are your boys going to do, man?
See, this is the thing. They're converting, but that offensive line, the literal reason I feel like they lost last year in the big game is their forefront problem right now. They have a lot of issues in that O-line, way too many pressures coming out in the season. You shouldn't really see over 4 to 5 pressures a game in those first 5 to 6. But, I mean, they're right at that tip right there. Leo Collins, I don't know. I'm still waiting on news for him. He's questionable. He was at practice earlier this week. That could be a good sign. You know, they already gave him a contract to go ahead and guard Burrow. But, we have to limit the pressures. If we can do that, get some good protection on the outside, which I think we can do. The Jets defensive front is pretty solid. Don't get me wrong. They're young, but they have guys at every position that can make plays. And that kind of worries me a little bit coming off, but the offensive production is there, and we can run the ball. I think they can run the ball mixing a little bit. And if we can get to a point where we can mix it up, I think it'll make it hard for the defensive coordinator to make a shot in that second half. I think we get away in that second half for sure. So I actually laid juice for this play. I'm actually on Bengals money line. I think I caught it -235 or something like that. But I didn't mind just because it kind of sketches me with the protection right now. And I just need to see see them get one go through the hoop, basically. So I didn't mind laying the juice. I do think they win outright. That's one. That's a 10 out of 10 confidence win.
They have to.
Yeah, they have to. So yeah, I'm all over the juice for that one. Bengals money line. If it would be a good parlay piece too, I feel like.
That was the first lay that I cooked up was Bengals money line, Ravens spread, Rams spread. Rams can't cover, and if the Rams don't cover, I will never bet on an LA team ever fucking again. I'm trying though, man. I'm trying. Nappy, what are you seeing with the Jets, bro? What are you seeing with the Jets?
Man, it's a lot of poverty still. It's a lot of poverty. It's just a poverty organization. Like I think that Joe Flacco showed out last week and somehow found a way to reincarnate himself from 9 years ago. No, but he doesn't. No, he really don't. I know. CD picks, I know. I know what you're thinking, but I don't think it happens again today. Joe Burrow it's the same thing as the Vikings. You have to win this game. Like it's shit. You can lay the juice for this game. I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of juice there, but if they don't win this game, you might as well just fold your season up and throw it in the garbage. Like you're in a division that's too good right now for you to be messing around with the Jets. Like this game to me, Sauce Gardner and that Jets secondary, they've been okay, but I mean, like you can't rely on those guys. I think to have a full season the way that they played somehow through these first 2 weeks. I think that they get packed up a little bit by T. Higgins and this offense that Cincy's got. I think since he gets it done, I think they covered this. I'm on the spread, so I took it early last week.
You're on Cincinnati spread.
I'm on the money line.
You're on Cincinnati spread. You said.
I'm on the spread. I think Kitch is on the money line.
Yeah, I'm on the money line. I laid the juice for this one.
But I mean, I think the Jets definitely still.
Garrett Wilson's yards are like in the 40s or 50s. I think that. Do you think that the Bengals can contain Wilson, or is that a prop that we should toss in?
I think you should go for it for this one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that. Just considering what they have up front right now, man, it's a little wishy-washy. It's a little wishy-washy.
We got like 5 games to go through. And I want to keep it moving so we can construct a solid lay and hopefully a prize picks. So we're gonna keep it moving right along, boys. Phenomenal game coming up here. We got the Eagles heading to Washington. Great in-division matchup. Nappy, talk to us about the Eagles real quick, bro.
Well, so they've obviously, stepped up to the plate to be a front runner for that NFC East crown. They made a statement on Monday Night Football. Everybody saw how that offense performed, and the defense. I mean, you got to look at that secondary, and they're going to be causing problems today for the Commanders. I think Wentz is going to struggle. He struggled against us here in Detroit, so I don't see him, making things easier on himself going against this Philly defense. I like the Commanders here, the Eagles here to beat the Commanders. I like it's just another square move, man. It feels so square, but it doesn't make sense. How does a team come back from losing to Detroit, go back home and play an Eagles team that's better than us and win? I don't see Carson Wentz pulling it off today. And I'm actually on Jalen Hurts' rushing yards as a prop. I like this one a lot. I think that he's going to be running a lot today. I just don't think that this defense has shown any signs for the Commanders to stop the run. They didn't do it against the Lions. I just think that this is a great spot for Philly to keep things rolling. And if they win these games, it's going to pack up the division even quicker. So I think they're trying to make the job easier for themselves. But this is one of those weeks where it feels so square, but it only makes sense. And I don't like it when it's like that. But come on. I don't know.
It's about to be a huge, and it's weird to say that it'll be a huge statement game if the Eagles beat the Commanders because we're so used to the Commanders just kind of being a rollover team. But it really is going to be a statement game. But there's too many systems that Washington falls into for me to ignore. One, the zigzag opportunity. They didn't cover. They're back at home. They're facing an Eagles team that went crazy on primetime. So that's one. In-division home dogs so far this year are 4-1. And when the public is on a team, as I mentioned at the top of the show, when the public is on a team at more than 65%, the dog so far this year is 9-2. And we're seeing 74% of the handle is on Philly. So I do think that the Commanders can do enough to keep it close at home in division. Do I think they win? No. Is there a chance that Carson Wentz throws 3 picks to Darius Slay alone? Absolutely. But I'm not willing to
I like
ride
that
with
Hurts rushing prop more than anything is what I was really trying to like. That to me,
absolutely.
I think Hurts has a really solid game today, especially on the ground. I don't think that this Commanders defense is going to be able to touch Hurts if he starts running. So that's really my favorite play in this game is Hurts' rushing yards over. But I agree with you. It's going to be a tight divisional game.
I could rock with that, especially with the Commanders. I still say Redskins, especially with the Commanders D line, right? They're going to be penetrating. They're going to be forcing Hurts to get out of the pocket and keep moving. So I think that is a good look. I think the Eagles still win, but I think it's within 6. So that 6.5 points is definitely good enough for me. Keeping it moving, boys. Keeping it moving. Next on the slate, we got another division game. Kind of a good one, kind of a sneaky good one between the Saints and the Panthers. So I was high on the Saints going into the season. I thought that they made some great offseason moves. And I thought with the continuity and the coaching staff that they would look a little bit better. But Jameis is still Jameis. And I'm not as confident in them and their ability to cover and do what we need them to do as much anymore. Carolina, they're in a spot where they need to get on the board, or else I don't know if Matt Rule is going to make it through the season so far. I have somewhat stayed away from this game. I'm rocking with the Sharps on this one. But as far as Carolina is concerned, V, what are you seeing on that side, bro?
Absolutely nothing. Like I hate this team, and I think Baker is finally showing that he's terrible. He makes terrible reads. He doesn't make good plays, and he shows like, even in that week 1, he showed up in the second half. Like it was too late. You wait around, you make bad plays, you don't make the right reads. I know his wide receivers can't be happy, right? OBJ somewhere is like laughing his ass off and having a great time watching this Carolina Panthers team. I don't want to take the Saints either. Jameis and his back issues and all of that stuff going on over there. I feel like the under is the better play here just because 2 struggling offenses with 2 kind of bad QBs. Mush, you and I watched the Panthers last week versus the Giants while we had the over, and we saw how painful that was. The team can't move the ball. CMC, he's not being worked into the offense as well as we hoped. I know he had that big rush last week, but other than that big rush, if he didn't have that, he would have had just kind of like a mediocre day again. I think Matt Rule doesn't really know what he's doing with this offense, and I would not feel comfortable laying my money on them at all.
Yeah, I have a confession.
You have money on them?
I'm on the over again.
Oh my God, man!
What if I told you I had money on the
Broncos again? This is like me betting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that a lot of us are on the Panthers, so I have money on the Panthers, but I have money on the over in a tiny little totals lay. It's disgusting. I'm telling you, I will either be absolutely crippled after today, or I will be getting foot massages throughout the rest of the week when I'm in Cabo. You know what I mean? Like that's what is on the line for the kid, but. We're going to see what happens. It's just one of those, like, it's 41 points. Yeah. It's in division. I could see it being 23, 24, 20. You know what I mean?
Still the lead.
They have to figure it out. They stink. Yeah. Or it's going to be 9-3. Who the fuck knows? But we're going to keep it moving right along, boys. A game where we need – all right, so we're now into the afternoon slate, morning slate, wrapped up. Good work. We got 20 minutes to go through these next 4 or 5 games. And we have a surprising Jacksonville Jaguars team with Doug Peterson at the helm going to LA and SoFi. I don't know how many fans are going to be at this game. You got 2 kind of weak fan bases, but they're playing the Chargers. And chat, if you could help us with an injury report, is Justin Herbert going to play? What's going on? Nappy, talk to us about the Jags, bro.
I mean, it's weird. Like, I don't want to say that they're figuring things out over there, but like they're starting to show glimpses of their younger guys figuring out the offense at least. I think their offensive side of things have started to click a little bit more for Trevor Lawrence and that group. But this game, I just don't. I really think it goes under. Like, I think the Chargers defense is still good enough to contain them, but the offense just doesn't have. If Herbert doesn't play, the under is the nuke, because it's just like Herbert is the foundation of that offense, and if he's not there, I don't think they're going to be able to make the plays that they typically do in order to put points up rapidly. And I think that this Jaguars defense, even though they're not a top tier defense in the league by any means, but they got guys like Josh Allen. They picked up some rookies that can really ball, and they can find ways to keep games tight even when they shouldn't. So I think that the Jags could make this under really nice. And that Chargers defense, like I said, Derwin James, you got guys that are good on that defense. So
Yeah,
I think the under really is the move. If Herbert doesn't play, that's my favorite play in this game.
Kitch, talk to us about the Chargers. I know that it's tough because we don't know if we're going to see Chase Daniel or Justin Herbert, but what are you seeing with that team down in LA?
Man, it's a tough one. It's going to be pretty sure it's going to be a game day call for Herbert. I mean, even if he does play, I mean, he's going to be playing hurt. So that's going to be an effect also. I mean, if you do lean on the side to have confidence in, I would definitely put the trust in the defensive side of the ball. They're still a top 10 team in almost every category right now. But for me, as far as a side, I would probably have to take the under just because of the situation with Herbert and Jacksonville not really converting, not as much as they could be. Yeah, and yeah, man, I think the under would be the play in this spot. If I would take a side, I don't want to lean towards the Chargers with not really knowing what they're going to be having on their starting roster. As far as the offensive side of the ball, Jacksonville, man, yeah, they converted against the Colts. I get it, but this is a whole new beast when you talk about defenses. So for the Chargers, so I feel like they both cancel out, and I think the under would be a spot to play.
Yeah. That was one of the Monday bets that I placed was Jags Chargers under, and I did get the Jags at +7. We see that now at +3.5. But I love the under here, man. I love the under. Jags defense has not looked bad, and it's just one of those games where it makes more sense for the over, but I think the under is certainly the sharp play. We now have another in-division game, a team that cannot cover, the Los Angeles Rams, going up against Cliff Kingsbury and the Arizona Cardinals. Listen, this is going to be the third week in a row that I am betting on the LA Rams. And I want you to know something, Rams organization. If you don't cover today, we're done. This is it. You're 0-2 against the spread so far this year. However, Sean McVay has a great track record against Cliff Kingsbury. There's a weird thing in the NFC West. Sean McVay can't beat Shanahan. Shanahan always struggles against Kingsbury, which annoys the fuck out of me. And then Kingsbury can't beat McVay. So I see the Rams handling business. They need to. They still haven't covered, as I've said. And Arizona, they just handled business against Las Vegas. So it's a great zigzag opportunity. I'm playing with that system here. Once again, I like the Rams to handle biz. It's spooky to say, but I do. What are you seeing for this Cardinals team, Kitch?
Injuries. Still have some injuries especially on the defensive side of the ball. We all know that. Man, this is a spot really I feel like to fade the Cardinals still, man. I feel like until they get all the boys rallied back up, there's still going to be spots of weakness for them. Yeah, for me, this would just be a fade the Cardinals spot. I would take the under in this spot also. Just considering that Connor is still dealing with the injuries as well. But I believe he's still going to play. But it's just bad news right now with the injuries for the Cardinals, man. So I'm all on the other side. Any way you can take it, first half or full game, fading the Cardinals, man.
Oh yeah. I'm very with that, man. I'm very with that. And I think I've been kind of taken down what I think we might be making this lay into. We'll get there. Another game that I'm not going to be talking about. Those duties are going to be to, I believe, Nap and V, unless y'all switch one of the teams. But we got the Atlanta Falcons, who are looking way better than I thought they would, heading up to Seattle. Seattle's 1-1. Do we think they're a 2-1 team? Who the hell knows? But we're going to get some insight. Nappy, talk to us about the Falcons, bro. Mute. I got you.
I've been saying this since week one. The Falcons' offense is kind of nice, and I think that they got some weapons to get themselves points to hang in games. I don't think it's going to help them win a lot, but I think that this is one of those games where it's going to help a lot. And there's actually two plays in this game that I love, and neither of them really involve a game line, but I have the double result. It's plus 170, which is Falcons to be leading at halftime and win the game. I think that actually hits. I really like the Falcons today. They're coming off that tough loss in LA. Mariota looked good, in my opinion. Like, he had a couple of interceptions, a couple moments where he could have been a little bit more sharp. But I think for where that offense is at, going up against a top tier defense like the Rams, going up to Seattle is going to be tough. That's a tough environment to go play in. But I think that you get this Seattle team in a spot where that offense isn't going to be as potent as the Atlanta one. And I think that Kyle Pitts' anytime touchdown is also a super good look at plus 210. It's plus 210. Like, I think the Falcons, I think he's due, and I think the Falcons are due to get right today with a win, a statement win for themselves. It's a short line, pick 'em game, but I think that the Falcons offense is going to give them the edge. The over could be a good look, but I don't have enough faith in Geno Smith in that offense. DK Metcalf hasn't done really much with him anyway. It's just been, I don't trust him enough to take the over, but I do like the double result for the Falcons. So,
let's see. V, what are you seeing from Seattle, bro?
And I think Seattle we talked about this last week, is just preparing for week one. They were just preparing for that game against Denver, that revenge game against Russell Wilson, and they got what they wanted. You know what I mean? We saw them get clapped last week by your Niners. That was a great game to be watching. You know what I mean? We saw the rush game. We saw Jeff Wilson Jr. I think he had 87 yards on 18 carries. Devo had like 50-some yards. This rush defense is terrible, and I just feel like that's exactly where ATL thrives. We know Marcus Mariota is not looking to put up 300 passing yards or 3 touchdowns. This team is going to work their offense on the ground and then pass when they need to. Drake London, I think, is a great look on this ATL team. He's been getting mad targets from Mariota, especially going up against heavy zone defenses. We've seen Kyle Pitts struggle this year, but they've been playing against 2 heavy zone defenses and against a player who thrives against man defenses and mismatches. DBs are too small to cover him. Linebackers are too slow to cover him. You put this man against the zone, and he struggles a little bit. That's why you see Drake London finding the holes in the zone, getting open, and being that kind of outlet for Marcus Mariota. What I do love in this game, probably my favorite play, is Cordero Patterson over 41.5 rush yards. I know everybody was on him last week. He had kind of a down week. He still had, I think, 40 yards on just 10 carries. We saw week one, he had 120 yards on, I think it was like 17 or 18 carries. This team is better when he's running the ball. This team is better when he's seeing the ball. He should see the end zone today, but give me that over 41.5 rushing yards for a dude who should see 14 to 15 carries today.
That is an awesome look. I'm a fan of the over, to be honest. I'm a fan of the over. And although the public is pretty heavy on Atlanta, and although Seattle is in this zigzag opportunity, I just don't see Seattle as a 2-1 team. And sometimes the football gods just correct shit. Atlanta is simply the better team. Seattle's defense isn't anything to necessarily keep them contained. I think Cordero and I think Drake absolutely do cook. And Atlanta money line is one of my favorite plays on the day, but I do see points going up because although it's Geno Smith by name, man, he's completing like 70% of his passes. He's able to manage the game and move the ball. And these are 2 really poor defenses. The total's at 43.5, I believe, maybe 42.5. But I'm all over the Falcons today. I'm all over the Falcons today.
That's a great play.
It is a public play, but I mean, you can't fade the public with every single one of your plays. You have to pick your spots. Man,
interesting point I wanted to bring up. Dogs of 3 points or less are 1-8 against the spread this year. Dogs of 3 points or less. Yeah. Dogs of 5 or more are 12-5 against the spread this year.
We love
That's
it.
why I really
We love
like
it.
what that Bills movement is. My -4.5, that's where I took it. I think that's a key number,
Okay.
especially with Tua's numbers
Yeah.
and everything like that. And same thing with this Atlanta game. Short dog, I think that, or sorry, short favorite, and I think that they cover. Wait, are they dog now? What's the line at?
No, I think Niners are still a favorite. I think it's 1.5. But all right, we got one game left during the day, and man, this game should have been way more exciting. But who the hell is playing receiver for these guys? We got the Packers playing the Bucks. Who is on Green Bay? Kitch, what's going on with A-Rod and the Pack going into this game, man?
Oh man. Well, I saw some good things against the Bears. I think it's still early, man. It's still early in the season. He has a new bunch. Well, not a new bunch, but a bunch that he has to get used to as far as passing the ball. But I think their defense still holds up in this spot. Obviously, we see the caliber quarterbacks that in this matchup. And I feel like some people might snipe the over, but I like the under in this game. I think it's more so of a snatch away gray line kind of game where points are not as easy to come by. I feel like, everybody's preparing for each side of the ball. I mean, you have Rodgers and Brady. Obviously, Brady is a game manager in himself, but tempo will probably be chopped down just because every single yard is probably going to count for this kind of game. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a low scoring at all. So I like the under for that game.
Absolutely. Nap, tell us about the Bucks and Tom Brady, my guy. Classic goated mute, though, huh?
I think neither of these teams are in a spot for me to feel safe taking them straight up, to be real with you. The Saints could hardly put a touchdown together in New Orleans, or the Bucks could nearly put a touchdown together in New Orleans. And the Packers, like Kit said, they showed some good signs at home on Sunday Night Football, but I just think that the over is the look here. I mean, Rodgers going against Brady head-to-head, you already got a little bit of a grudge match there. This might be the last time these two guys face. Who knows? If Brady calls it quits, this could be it. So I think we're in for a thriller. I think it's going to be a good game. Everybody should take in as a fan and enjoy. But I also think the over is really – for it to be at 41.5, come on now. Both these dudes are going to go out and throw at least 3 touchdowns. They're going to be going head-to-head every drive. Even though Rodgers has less to work with than Brady, I think Rodgers will still find a way to get it done like he always has. And I think, like I said, we're in for a tight game. The spread is where it should be. It's a pick 'em. I'm not picking a side here. I don't have enough faith in either of these teams as a whole to bet on them. I think the Bucks have the better defense, though, which I think might give them slightly an edge in this game. They also have the home field advantage, but I think the over really is the best move here. For this to be at 41, I think they're both good for 20 points, both offenses, and a couple field goals. So I think this goes over for sure. But
it's hard to take an under between A-Rod and Brady. You know what I mean?
This
moving
line-
along, and then it's going to be time to cook because we got the Monday night game, and we can kind of leave that. But Niners Sunday Night Football in Denver. You're not going to catch me talking about the Niners this season because I think there's better value when other people talk about it. But tell us about San Francisco.
Don't bet on them. Just cheer for them and watch them and let us all make money on them. Because that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make money on the Niners. Bang, bang, Niner gang. I'm telling you, this team is different with Jimmy G. We talked about it last week when we were chilling and watching the games. I feel for Trey Lance. I really do. And I think it's super sad. But the team was excited about Jimmy G coming in. The offense is passing the ball way more. Like that, the entire offensive playbook opens up with Jimmy G in there. Trey Lance was the good long-term play. I understand that. You want to work him in. You want to get him there. But right now, Jimmy G gives this team a chance at the NFC title game, in my opinion.
Niners tuck us in.
The defense is elite. Deebo Samuels is elite. Jeff Wilson Jr., we saw last week, is still, can still put up yards. So I love this team. I love them that we're getting them at a decent price on the money line. I know Trent is on the Broncos, and I feel really bad. But I can't put my money on like Russell Wilson You know what I mean? The cringiest NFL superstar I've ever seen.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Kitch, are you
Yeah,
believing in Broncos country?
damn it, we're going Broncos country. I think. Listen, some people look, it's nothing against the 49ers defense. I still think that's one of the best front sevens in all of football. But listen, man, a lot of people saying Garoppolo is probably the better quarterback in this spot. I respect it. I think he's a great game manager. I think he does fairly well in converting on third downs, avoiding mistakes when he can. But I trust that Broncos defense, man. I think they show up in this spot. Considering, the exchange with the 49ers on both sides of the ball, I would, if you wanted to do like a little two-teamer, I might take the under and the Broncos on the money line. But hey, man, I really feel like Russell succeeds a lot against the 49ers. As a matter of fact, I think he has a majority of his franchise wins. I think that's the top one is against the 49ers. Is maybe about 16 wins or something like that.
Much didn't want to hear that.
No, but like
Look, man, Niners gang, baby. But listen, it's just one of those spots where, man, I think Russell is just so used to it, and yeah, he's still figuring it out, and they're still trying to avoid turnovers and clock management, those kind of things, and that is what kind of scares me. Am I taking the Broncos today? No, but
I bet.
Yeah, but it would be a lean.
Okay.
But also, boys, I have to get foots on ground to the airport.
Yeah.
So
play for the
what's the submission? What's the submission for the lay? What's your play of the day for the lay?
Okay. It would be Bengals. The Bengals on the spread. Or you
just your one play.
One play?
Bengals money line.
Bengals money line. No shot.
Bengals money line?
Yeah. If
money
line.
line.
To my head, Bengals money line.
I'm with it. All right. Travel safe, my G.
Appreciate you, Jen.
Frank. We'll see you out there. Always appreciate you, Big Catch. Always appreciate you.
All right, y'all.
Much love. All right, we'll be. Okay. All right. Real quick for Monday night, I know that I got the Giants and you got the Cowboys. I'm on the Giants money line. They've controlled time of possession. They have 14 more minutes of possession through their first two games. That's something that Dallas really struggles with. It is going to be a defensive showing, but I'm more confident in Brian Dable with Daniel Jones and Saquon and the Giants at home in division getting the dub here. What are your thoughts with Monday night? And then we're going to get this leg cooked up.
Honestly, is you not? We talking about the.
I think you're on Dallas V, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
It's all good. Fuck it. It's the Giants on Monday night. All right. Time to cook.
Yeah, we need to cook.
So if we did, let's see here, because I want to get cheeky. But if we did Ravens money line, Bengals money line, Vikings money line, we're gonna need to put plus money in there, and that could be. I mean, the Falcons at -110, I would love. Carolina at +110.
How are we submitting one player?
I'm telling y'all, once again, I'm not gonna be surprised if Miami wins. But I don't know if we have enough nuts to toss on the table.
I don't have enough nuts to fade Buffalo, bro. I'm not fading the best team in the NFL. I can't.
Okay. We don't have to do those two -280 money lines, though. We can take the Vikings off. We can do the Vikings spread.
What about Vikings under?
Spread.
What about the Bears money line?
The Vikings under.
Vikings under. Instead of the money line there. Vikings under.
I love that Vikings under, and I also love the Bears money line for a parlay piece.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side, so I don't want to put that in the lay if you don't mind. And we don't need to rush this, chat. So keep fucking pumping in what you think we need to do here. But so far we got I do like the look of it with the Ravens money line, Bengals money line, Lions and Minnesota under 51.5. I'm okay with that. It could be 27-24 and we win.
Kid says
I
Rams.
could,
I do
what's
like
that?
I do like Rams money line in there.
I could get behind Rams. I have the Rams written down here. I would love
Panthers
to see
line
us.
also just moved.
I would love. What just moved?
The Panthers money line just moved from plus 118 to plus 108 just now.
Do we do Panthers money line?
Dude, they're 0-2 at home. If they don't win this game, you're playing a divisional game. You're already 0-2. You lost to Cleveland.
I just feel so
I just
much
want to
more
see what this would
comfortable
be
with
if we did the Rams.
Rams.
529. It's plus 529, which does pay.
Shit pays.
It does pay. I don't want to fade the Cardinals either in that divisional game. I'll have it in me.
I mean, yeah, the Rams are just fucking such cheeks, dude.
Kyler, like,
and you guys wouldn't be willing to rock with the Texans, Commanders.
Commanders plus 6 I can rock with. Plus 6 I can rock with.
Man, that's. What about the Raiders?
At minus 130. We could toss another total in here, to be honest.
Yeah, the total does feel safe too.
Bills over?
It's so high.
The Bills Dolphins over.
It's at 54 now.
Chat, what do you think?
54.
We got like
somebody said Raiders money
7 minutes. You know what I mean? We could chill with this right now.
Well, how many legs also are we going with?
4. Or we could do 3, but like, dude, we got to get nuts and put them on the table for.
Carolina. Okay. So this is plus 600. Baltimore money line under 51.5 in the Lions Vikings game. Panthers money line. It's plus 600 on FanDuel.
Really?
Yeah.
But so that's a 4-teamer, right?
It's a 3.
3.
I know he doesn't want to bet on Carolina today though.
I mean, like, if you boys really want to rock with Carolina, I'll rock with it.
I'm just looking at it situationally. You're 0-2.
No, I agree.
Like,
I agree. It's just Baker always steals my money, man.
I think it's a good play straight, but
not for the lay.
You know what I mean? A little bit tough for the lay. Do we go with Atlanta?
I do like Atlanta.
I like them. I have the double results.
Or the over.
Anything, we
could do the over. It's at 43. Or do we go Atlanta? Because I think we're all on Atlanta.
I agree with Atlanta. I think Nappy does too. Yeah. I know that kids liked it. I think Atlanta's a great 4th leg.
Atlanta plus 1. Now, you did give us the stats. You did give us the stats on what dogs of less than 2.5 look like.
But I feel like with ATL, the 1-point spread, and it's been going back and forth. You know what I mean? Like the line, I know the line didn't open up at plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I feel like. So what do we have for sure? We got the Vikings under.
Vikings under.
Bengals money line.
Yeah, we got Vikings under. Bengals money line. Ravens money line. Falcons plus 1.
Can we not just go Rams money line and call it a day?
I don't
go a 5th leg.
No. I thought if you were sus about ATL. I just feel like
I don't think the Rams.
Why are we doubting the Bengals spread though? Like they're gonna win by at least 10.
I just hate the movement, like minus 6.5 when it opened at minus 4.5. That's the main reason.
If you do Falcons, that's plus 669. Cheeky number.
69. Shit pays.
669. Nap, what are you thinking, bro?
I fuck with it.
I like it. So wait, it's Falcons, Bengals money line, Vikings under.
Ravens money line.
Okay. Yeah, that's plus. Ooh, that's nice. I'm gonna take it with the spread, but I'm gonna take it with y'all for the Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals spread.
Bengals spread.
Yeah. Team that just went to the Super Bowl, haven't won a game, playing the Jets. Got to win by 30.
Man, we're taking 3 road teams to get a dub, boys.
Yeah.
This is tough.
But I'm okay because honestly, as much as y'all believe or don't believe in like the zigzag system, Baltimore and Cincinnati are both in there.
I'm just looking at it from narrative for Cincinnati, man. Like, you just went to the Super Bowl. If you don't beat the Poverty Jets, I'll never bet on you again. Flat out. It's the same thing with Carolina. You gotta win that. These are games.
Do we go Bengals spread? Do we go Bengals spread?
I don't want to take
Nuts on the table. Nuts on the table. Bro. Nuts on the table. It's
Not
the
a-
For the lay,
No.
I'm gonna do this just because I like it's 669. We got Ravens money line, Bengals money line, the under between the Lions and the Vikings and the Falcons.
Let's get it.
Locking it, chat. What do you think, chat?
I like it.
Are we with it?
Yep.
Are we with it? Bang. Locking it. Locking that shit. Let's go. That's it. That is it. We're 8 minutes. Do we try and toss? Do you want to present some prize picks? Should we cook up a quick little PP entry?
Yeah, I'm down. I got a bunch of
I'm down. I have some V. I was gonna talk to you about the props. I got some good props too.
So I cooked one up yesterday, and we can take ones from this that we like, or we don't have to. But Tua over 1.5 passing touchdowns with Tyreek over yards. I have Justin Fields under pass attempts. It's kind of suspect, so I don't know if we need to include that one. Under 2.5 sacks for the Broncos D. The Niners guards have not allowed a single pressure. We have the best left tackle in the league. Jimmy Garoppolo gets the ball out of his hands quickly. And then Nick Bolton on the Chiefs, their leading tackler, having more than 8.5 tackles or assists. He's had 10 in each of the last 2 games, going up against a rush-heavy offense. But I liked the look for Patterson in a game that we kind of see going over. So you think over 41.5 rushing yards, V?
Cordero Patterson, yeah. I love it. 41.5 bounce back spot, against the terrible Seahawks defense. We would have hit it last week too. He didn't because we saw what the Rams did. They went up like 27-10. So
yeah.
You're not going to be running in that situation. That's why you only saw 10 carries.
I could be down to literally put Patterson over 41.5 rushing yards and Drake London over 52.5 receiving yards.
I think that's a great play. Drake London at 52.5. He's been seeing a great target share. He's on the field for every single play almost. Well, what else was it that I really like?
Garrett Wilson over 47.5 receiving yards. I don't hate.
Amon Ra receptions over 6.5. This dude has seen 8+ receptions in 8 straight games. He's seen 10+ targets in 8 straight games going back to last year. Goff loves him. He just keeps throwing him the ball. He had 2 touchdowns last week. He's had a touchdown in 7 of his last 8 games. And he's seen 11+ targets in 7 of his last 8 games. So give me all that, over 6.5 receptions.
I'm down.
And Devontae Adams.
So that's we're at 4 now. You got another one, V?
Devontae Adams. Over 83.5.
Devontae Adams. For which? Targets, touchdown, receptions,
receiving yards, or touchdown.
Yards.
Yeah, or touchdown. Both of those I would love today. I think
that's the Titans D is just super banged up, or what?
No, they're not super banged up. They're just terrible. Like we saw what Diggs did to him last week. You know what I mean? And you got a guy that should be seeing about 12 to 13 targets. The Tennessee defense doesn't have anything to answer for Devontae Adams, in my opinion. So, I feel like this is a get-right spot. The line's low for a dude who usually sits around 93, 94. The line came out at 77.5. I'm a little late to it, but,
What do you like more? His, because I could double dip with Tua passing touchdowns. I think he has 2 today.
I think he does too. I love Tua passing touchdown. I love his passing yards. I love everything about offense in that game is going to be crazy. I think Diggs' touchdown is also a great look.
Let's do this. I'm really hyped on it. Cordero over rushing, Drake London over receiving, Garrett Wilson over receiving, Amon Ra receptions, Tua passing touchdowns.
I fuck with that. Yeah, I gotta step out real quick, just outside. I'll be right back.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
we're all
got
good. I'm gonna wrap this up and then kick off another one for the sweats. Get everything situated for Red Zone. Chat, love y'all, man.
Real
Love
quick,
y'all. Thank
real
you for
quick,
rocking with
Bush.
us. We were up towards 250 plus. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Next week is going to be a little bit suspect. I think Krabs is actually heading out to Dallas to see the boys in Dallas and go to the game. I will legitimately be in Cabo. So we'll figure something out. Come back. We're going to sweat. Scott Hansen, Red Zone. 7 hours of commercial-free football, 7 hours of sweat with your boys here. Nap, love you, brother. V, love you, brother. Chat, love y'all. We'll check you in about 5 minutes, all right?
Oh yes.
Later.
Bang.